Dave, in your opinion, what's the bigger play? Walker Buehler being able to strike out Grisham after he was behind in the count to get out of that bases loaded jam, or the eventual work of what your bullpen was able to do?
Man, it's a toss-up, Alanna. I just think that Walker, after that second inning, to come back out there and give us two more to shorten the game, what was huge. And the complexion of the game would have completely changed if he couldn't have even got through that fourth inning. But what the bullpen did tonight, just a big lift. And we kind of offensively, we weathered it and just continued to take good at-bats and broke out. Put up a crooked number, and we just added some points. So it was really good to see. Great baseball game all the way around.
And speaking of weathering it, Weathers comes in to make his major league debut. I'm not certain how much of a book you have on this young man. Hadn't really pitched above Double-A. How difficult is it to game plan for 9 different pitchers in a ball game?
It is. It's difficult, and it's as far as Weathers, it's good to see. I mean, just a quick ascension. I played against his father, and so there's good pedigree there. But for us to just keep our composure and every new arm that came in, just have a plan. And I really thought 1 through 9, everyone that took at bats tonight, I just really thought they had good plans tonight.
Dustin May, Dave, 6 up, 6 down. Did you kind of have to treat this as a side session so you can have him available if necessary on Wednesday?
Yeah, that's kind of, to have Walker going, not knowing how long he's going to go, but then with Clayton going tomorrow, I think the idea was for Dustin to take on a run tonight, to have him available for 3, and we'll figure out what capacity, if it's a start or come out of the pen or whatever. But I think that was kind of the idea behind it.
Thank you.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Davis, how much do you think Buehler's command trouble was due to his blister? How much was it just being off?
I think it was just being off. I thought that he found his curveball later in the game, and I thought the fastball was good. I just think sometimes it just has too much depth, and he can't just kind of keep the trajectory or the plane. But I thought he threw some good cutters in there. And Walker, it's just, you just can't quantify the compete. And when he needed to make a pitch, he did.
Would you have gone to Trinan there if he didn't get Grisham?
I think it was, I think Trinan was right there in the mix. And that's something where, again, it just could have changed the complexion of the entire game.
And I think they stole 3 bases off Buehler and Smith. Did you notice anything that the Padres are picking up on or anything like that?
No, I just think that there's a certain part in the sequence where Walker's trying to make a pitch. One of them was a 3-0 count. The other one, we got a called strike on a swing and miss. I don't remember the third one, but I think at times Walker just realizes that he's going to get a little bit slower with the delivery just to make a pitch.
And lastly, for me, we talked a lot about the ballpark coming into this with the roof open. How did it play?
It played big. I thought that, we mixed in 10 walks, but we had some balls really well. I thought the AJ ball could have been a homer in a lot of different ballparks. I thought the Muncy ball could have been a homer in a lot of ballparks. We hit some balls really well. So, we'll see. I guess it played fair.
Thank you.
Next question is from Dylan Hernandez. Go ahead.
Dave, given how much they used their bullpen in the previous series and how much they figured to have to use it in this series, just how important was it for you guys, to win this game in terms of maybe kind of cutting their legs off? Just it kind of seemed like they were, kind of like one realistic route to victory was to kind of win this game.
Yeah, I think that, if you look at the first 2 games, for them to try to get one and obviously they exhausted a lot of arms tonight by matching up. But I thought that I thought we did a good job to combat that. And they had us, kept us at bay for a long time. But, they got some good arms. Their 3 leverage guys at the back are still available, hadn't pitched. But I think that, Dylan, the key for us is the more arms we can see, I think the better for us, especially in a 5-game series.
And kind of looking back for you guys, kind of in retrospect, how big was that start by Kershaw, you know, in the previous series in terms of, right, when you kind of look at where you guys are pitching wise compared to maybe where the Padres are right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're gonna play to win every night, but what we've got from Clayton in that game 2 was huge, and then obviously having the off days, and you want to get the best matchup, but there is a point where you got to pay a tax on that. And so I think that right now where we're at going into game 2, we feel pretty good.
Thank you.
Next question is from Pedro Moura. Go ahead.
Dave, you've talked a lot about how Muncy has still been valuable this season, even though he struggled because of his plate discipline and his willingness to see pitches. But how good was it to see him pounce on that first pitch fastball for the double in the 6th inning?
It was good. I mean, I can tell Max how much confidence I have in him and how much I trust him, and he's helping us win baseball games by controlling the zone, getting on base with a walk. But you know, for a hitter to still hit the gap, split a gap, left on left, that's still huge. And to catch a couple barrels, so I think Max is in a really good place mentally and mechanically.
Thanks.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
I'm good. I just left my hand up. Thanks.
Next question is from Michael Duarte. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. So Walker Buehler says that when things speed up on him and he loses and struggles command, which has happened, happened in the NLDS last year, happened in Atlanta a couple of years ago, and he referenced that oftentimes maybe a trip to the mound can stop him and kind of settle him down and let him slow down, excuse me. Was that what the Mark Pryor visit there when he loaded the bases in the 2nd was about?
Yeah. It was just one of those things that he was stressed, and you want to kind of hit pause for a little bit, give him a chance to regroup, catch his breath. And Mark just obviously has a great visit, and he regrouped and made some pitches. So Walker's just got really good feel for situations, but sometimes, an intervention is a good thing as well.
Thanks.
Next question is from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Dave, in the 9th, when you brought in Kenley, what went into the decision to bring him in with 1 out in the inning as opposed to, starting it?
Well, I think it's just I thought Blake was throwing well. I loved Blake against Pham, who's a high ball hitter, and I love the sinker. And I think that as far as we look out this series and beyond, managing everyone's workload and getting them in the best spots is important. And so now to take away an out for Kenley to now get 2 outs, and he'll be, more fresh for tomorrow. And so I think that I just feel it gives us the best chance not only to win tonight, but also looking out.
And how did Victor Gonzalez look? I know, obviously didn't start the year on the roster, but he sort of played his way into a bigger role. How did he look tonight?
He looked great. Victor looked great. I just love the way the ball comes out. Got ahead of Grisham in that second, his last hitter he faced. Then just left a slider up, but the stuff was really good.
Thanks.
We got time for one more. Go ahead, Willie.
Hey, Dave. Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Cody earlier talked about the resiliency and just said that the players felt like it was just a matter of time. When you're sitting there as a manager and your team doesn't get a hit until the 6th and drawing walks, leaving guys on base, the patience you have to not be too quick to pull the trigger on anything really and just let your guys do their thing. What's going through your thoughts here, knowing how important this game is?
I think it's you said it. It's patience and trusting your players. And I think for me, I saw that each guy was taking good at bats, and I just believe that if they continue to do so, we'll break out. So that's kind of that. And as far as Cody, I just appreciate the way, he might not feel perfect mechanically, but he's in there every single at bat fighting, trying to win pitches. And you saw tonight, created some stress running down the line, the air, and that kind of broke things open, got an infield hit later. So the fight's there, and he's helping us win baseball games.
Great. Thank you.